Okay, we'll get started with the public hearing right now on the public comment hearing on the dog kennels ordinance, article number 505.12. On the phone, we have Brandon Waters, member, Gary Withy, present, Craig Chapman, present, Jim Eplin, present. Is there anyone who would like to make a comment on the dog kennels?
I would.
Okay,
Do I need to go up there or am I here?
probably. Is that Michael?
It should be.
Can everybody on the phone hear?
I haven't said anything yet, but how about now?
Brandy, can you hear us?
Yes, I mean, it's not very loud, but I can hear.
What about you, Mr. Blankenship?
This is Tom. Yes, I can.
Okay. All right, Gary Wharton is going to speak.
This is related to the dog kennel.
Correct.
Okay. I had a couple of questions after reading your final draft that related to, does this ordinance permit puppy mills in our city limits?
This is a comment period. We're not answering any questions.
Okay. But you may later. Or are we going to have a dialogue? Or?
Right now, this is a comment period. This is public comment.
Okay. That was one of my questions, is whether or not this permitted puppy mills in our city. I don't believe that we should have them personally. I noticed that also there's a setback of 250 feet to a restaurant. My comment there is I would like to see a 250-foot setback to a residential district or neighborhood. We have other ordinances such as video lottery that obviously would not disturb or be a nuisance as much as possibly a dog kennel. And in there's 1,000-foot setbacks to churches, parks, recreational areas, and residential districts that are in our ordinances now. So I think that would be worth considering. On the 60 square feet of space per adult dog, at least 6 months old, and then with a maximum of 25 dogs, the way I read that is if somebody could have 25 dogs under 6 months and not have to go by the 60 square feet requirement. And puppy mills, I think at 8 to 10 weeks is when they move dogs out. So they don't even get to that age, to maybe require that 60 square feet. So are you going to have somebody having 25 dogs shoved into, a room this size? The other thing I noted was down on I think from the original or last meeting, you did have, a discussion about putting in normal business hours for inspection. But I noticed that it also, and I'm not sure how it reads, the last sentence, in the city's sole discretion to authorize a 24-hour period for any kennel or kennel-like operation within normal business hours to remedy any unlawful conditions without penalty. Not sure why that was necessary in there, but was my comment there. I had previously, I think, provided to Gary Withy, I thought a pretty good kennel definition of a kennel. The definition that I see in here is pretty basic. The one that I had provided, Gary, to you prior to the last meeting, which states any lot or premises on which 4 or more dogs This particular one says at least 4 months of age are kept. A business that houses, boards, feeds, grooms, or otherwise cares for dogs. A kennel shall not be permitted use in any R1, R2, or R3. And that's a definition from Beckley. So, it seemed to be a pretty good definition that seemed to go along with the discussion and dialogue that at least I, have been a part of. So, thanks for your time.
Good, thank you. Okay, is there any other public comment on the dog kennel ordinance? None at this time. I'd like to close this part of the meeting. And now opening up public comment on the changes to C1, C2, and C3 zoning ordinances for public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak on those?
I would, but I would like to ask you, Craig, is there going to be any discussion here in a public hearing between, anything?
Hey, Craig.
Yes.
But before Gary gets started on public comment on the C1, C2, and C3, it is pretty hard to hear right now over the phone line.
Okay.
Whether he just needs to be a little closer to the mic or something.
We'll see if we can get a little bit more volume out of the mic.
Thank you.
Maybe this will be better now. Yeah. Our IT guy just turned it up. Okay. You want to talk at all?
No, I asked you a question. Is there going to be any discussion in a public hearing?
There's not going to be any discussion going back and forth like you always do, Gary. If you got a comment, if you want to talk about this, if you want to bring it up, stand there and tell us what you want to say. But we're not going to sit here all night long and go back and forth.
I don't want to
And
do
we're
that.
not going to talk about enforcement,
I just asked you a simple question.
and I answered your question.
Okay. I do oppose the way these are written, C1, C2, C3. There's definitely flaws in them. Since we don't have a dialogue, I won't go into it. I'll save it for city council. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to make any comments?
Chair? Mr. President,
Yes.
this is Tom Blankenship. Now, my question would be is the new C2 is going to restrict your property more than what the old C2 is. Now, I don't know if you all can answer that tonight or what. I don't know how you all proceed with this. But that's my question.
I don't feel that it does, no. It probably gives you a little more leeway.
Okay.
Have you seen a copy of it?
No, sure I haven't.
Okay. Well, if this,
My fault, not.
if this vote goes through in the regular meeting to send it to council, I will make sure you get a copy of it, if you'd like a copy of C2.
Well, yeah, right. But my question was, and I guess you answered that. As far as you all know, the new C2 doesn't restrict the old C2.
No.
Okay, go right ahead. I'm done as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Is there any other comment, public comment? Okay, we'd like to close this part of the meeting. The public comment for the dog kennels and the public hearing for C1, C2, and C3 has now come to a close. I'd like to convene now the meeting at 6:13 of the Planning and Zoning Commission. I'd like a consideration of the minutes held on the meeting of June the 4th.
Move to approve and waive the reading.
I have a motion to approve and waive the reading. Any discussion? There's
Second.
Brandon seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. We have public comment, 3 minutes. Does anybody want to talk? If you want to tell me your points now, go ahead.
Concerning what?
We have the public comment. If you want to talk to me about your concerns with C1, C2, C3, now would be the time to do it.
Well, I'll just ask you, what plan are they based on? Your updates?
What is that book? International.
The international.
Yeah, the International Zoning Book.
No, I mean, what comprehensive plan?
They'll be basically in touch with the new one that we're putting together.
Because, there is one currently being worked on, and ordinances come after the comprehensive plan. That's why I wondered if what these were based on. So you're saying they're based on the new ordinance?
They're just
I mean,
based
not the
on,
new ordinance.
they're based on what we're updating the ordinances to. Okay? Do you have comment, Gary? I'm not gonna sit here and answer questions all night. Do you have comment?
Just what comprehensive plan that you're
That's not a comment, that's a
based
question.
on?
Any other public comment? Okay, now I'd like to talk about the consideration approval of this latest dog kennel ordinance, 505.12. I'd like to entertain a motion to send it to city council or any type of discussion.
So move.
Jim Eppin moves to send it to council. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Brandon Waters seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, send that one to council. Consideration of the approval of C1, C2, and C3 zoning ordinances. Do I hear a motion to send it to council or any type of discussion?
So moved.
Second.
Brandon Waters make a motion, Jim Epping seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Then we will send those by motion and vote to city council. I also have for us today, Mrs. Cox sent a letter of resignation to the mayor on, looks like the 17th of January 2020. I'll summarize the letter. It just basically says, being out of town for an indefinite period of time and my continued visual problems lead me to believe that it's best for me to resign from the P&Z board effective immediately. I have enjoyed my time serving with the P&Z and look forward to their and the city's continued success. Signature, Jerry Cox. Do I hear a motion to accept Mrs. Cox's resignation?
So move.
So
Second?
moved.
Brandon Waters, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. That's all we have for tonight. I would like to extend an appreciation out to Bruce Sigler, whose term was up, for being on this board for 6 years, and thank him for his support, and thank everyone for their support. Do I hear a motion of adjournment?
So move.
So moved.
Second. Anybody else have anything? Good, call tonight.
Vote.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.